Shock and awe on MP3 Radio, where we are committed to giving a voice to those who have served as service members and first responders. Here, today's Heroes Hits, here on MP3 Radio. Patriot Pride.
Please don't get me wrong.
It's Sunday, September 14th, and you've tuned in to the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. Right now, you're listening to EP3 Radio, proudly produced in partnership with Reason Across America Radio. Together, we share a mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach the future generations the value of freedom. A freedom secured by the brave men and women who wear our nation's uniform. Stay tuned for We Got Your 6 at 6. Currently playing on EP3 Radio, Don Ricks, Broken Pieces.
When forever walks away, it leaves a home. Wish I could find the answer, but I don't know where to start. Trying to love.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Truck it on.
Tom Cruise, roll out.
You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Truck it on.
Good evening. This is Andrea Eichmann here, and welcome to that new sound. On the intro, I'm here with the People's Patriot Project. Mark, Frank, and I are here tonight to bring you our weekly show called We Got Your 6 at 6. Every week, we bring a guest or two in, and we talk about the good and not so good things happening in our world and share what our guests have been up to. This week, we are hosting some awesome discussion with our guest, Michael Sullivan from Team Red, White, Blue. We can't do any of this without the support of our amazing sponsors. So I would like to mention Derek Iozio with Catch 22. He's here with us, daily, almost daily, and supporting, helping, pushing, driving all of the good behind the People's Patriot Project. We've got Operation Texas Strong with Peggy and Bobby Kretzinger. They are moving RVs, getting homeless veterans homed, and they do it on donations of gently used RVs, campers, trailers, that type of thing. They're centered in Texas, but you can get a hold of them anywhere. Just get their number on that sign. That is awesome. We also have the Boho Hobos Hideaway, sponsored by Lauren Iozio. This is in Livingston, Texas. I put the Airbnb information and link right there. If you just need to get away for a minute, you guys, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's in a beautiful area. I'm going to get there one day. I just need more than a day or two off, right? And then Brian Kenzer, who is mostly always with us. He's been busy. The summers are busy. And then he travels a bit in the winters. But most times when he's busy, he is out on rescue missions as a first responder. You can talk to Brian about health, wellness, and how to support American families, and also the WP3 mission. Join his link or visit his link, and if you have any questions, give him a call on the number that we listed. Sweetness. We want to throw out some thank yous to Lee Mosler of Ruck Digital, Mr. Stephen Rainwater, and Luke at Moving Tree Media. They're all background people, but it's not going to be background. It's going to be amazing stuff in the foreground, and we will have more information about them. Also, Corporate Mark right here in St. Paul. This is dedicated to first responders and those who have served. Linda is the Epic Center of Support. She prints for all the local Leos and firefighters, and she's become family here at the People's Patriot Project. Thank you, Linda. It's awesome to know you. I guess in the way of that, we better thank a little bit of Dave, our graphics guy too, who's working things out for us. Graphics can give anybody a headache, I'm pretty sure. To all of our sponsors, our guests, and our listeners, thank you. Before we dive into this week's show, please take a moment to join us for this amazing version of the Star Spangled Banner with Dave Bray, USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to stand if you are capable of standing. Out of honor and respect, please remove your covers and prepare yourself how you need to show your greatest gratitude for the amazing freedoms and liberties we have achieved under one of the most powerful symbols in the world. Please cast your attention as we respect our old glory.
Twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so cast.
Oh, you're muted. Peterson, you look funny. Are you saying something? You're still muted. All right, welcome. Welcome to our show, guys.
Do I got a wonky mic?
Stop. You're on mute again. Okay, got you. Keep talking.
Do I got a wonky mic? I got a wonky mic, don't I?
No, it's good right now. It's good. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Okay. Nope. Now it's. Did you switch it again? Because now it's bad. We have this conversation every time. Something's going on with his mic, and it sounds like he's got a mouthful of cotton. And I thought it was just me and hearing it bad, but I think it's his mic.
Don't talk like that.
Oh, see, now you're good.
We fix it. We fix things. We fix things. We support things, and we grow. Hey, it's where do we go? What do we do? How do we do it? Here's the deal. We're going to do something because that's what we do. This last week, no surprise, hundreds and millions of people are taking moments of silence for a man that I did not know, a man I respected through his words, a man I respected through his actions, a man that I never saw do anything violent, never saw, and I don't even think I ever saw him say something in realms of violence. Senselessly and needlessly lose his life for someone else's opinion. And I know hundreds of people have, and thousands and millions of people have taken a moment of silence. And because of who I am and what I believe in, we are not taking that moment of silence because we are going to make a motion of movement, oddly enough, with this guy above us. And we are also going to speak a word of truth, speak a word of confidence, speak a word of reality, and we are going to live by the words that we speak. And it doesn't have to be violent. And it doesn't have to use weapons. We can use our voices. We can use our brains. We can use our thoughts. And at the end of the day, we can have, or the beginning of the day, we can have a conversation and we can walk away from that conversation without believing the same thing and agreeing on the same things. This is what I know. We have hundreds and thousands of people that have served this country in some shape or form, their country and their communities as veterans and first responders. And the People's Patriot Project is going to step forward, and we're not here to fix those men and women. We're not here to fix anything. We're here to support those that may need a little help getting through whatever phase of life they're in right now. They're not broken. We're not here to fix them. We're here to support. And we're going to build relationships, have conversations, and make a difference in our country and our communities. Thanks for coming to our show tonight. We got the one and only Mike Sullivan from Team RWB. Mike Sullivan, tell us what that is.
Absolutely. So Team Red, White, and Blue, we're a veteran service organization going in, about to hit our 15-year mark. It's our 15th-year anniversary here in just about 3 weeks. So we build community that's grounded in holistic health and wellness. So really looking at physical fitness, helping veterans, to understand how to sleep right, eat right, hydrate. But ideally, it's a community that's built around helping veterans transition to their new community and continue, to your point, having each and every day better with a little bit of support and that team environment that they had while they were in the service. So we encourage veterans to move each and every day, and we do that by having chapters all over the United States. We have 154 of them. We're almost 300,000 strong in terms of our members since the start to the day we are today. And we have a hybrid kind of application that provides virtual touch points for veterans, but ideally it's getting together in person to just move a little bit, walk, run, ruck, do a CrossFit workout, whatever you like. We got a little bit of that for everybody, but it's all surrounded through building a community that provides you personal accountability, lasting relationships, and that ability to continue your service, helping out that buddy to your left and right. Just stay healthy and fit, and see that each day ahead of them is going to be better than the last.
Well, what gave you this idea? What motivated you to create an organization that got people moving?
Well, it wasn't me. It was a guy by the name of Mike Irwin. He and I served together in 1st Battalion, 3rd Special Forces Group. Back in the day, I got the guide on it over here up on the wall, the green one. He was our Battalion S2. I was a Special Forces company commander, and we got to know each other really well during a rotation to Afghanistan. Following that rotation, he was in graduate school getting prepared to go teach at West Point. And he had this idea that, he saw something in terms of those veterans that were getting out that had, gone through the crucible of war, either in Iraq and Afghanistan, and just felt that they needed to have a community that wrapped around them once they got out of the service, and provided them support. And he thought, what better way to do that than through physical fitness? Initially, when he first started, he was looking at like wounded veterans and those that had like really gave a lot. Quickly, what he realized as he started to build these little groups all over the United States is that guys like me that helped stand it up were getting just as much out of that community as those folks we thought we were helping. I think we were helping ourselves more than anybody else. And this idea that, you lose everything when you leave the service. You lose those teammates, you lose that support structure. And by building back a community that provided you, again, that sense of accountability when it came to your physical fitness, but also, those personal relationships that we just found to be so critical to everything we did in the service. That was the secret sauce. And it's been what we've really leaned into over the last 15 years. So it's evolved. We focus more on kind of holistic health and wellness. But again, it's all about transitioning veterans. It's about folks that have been out for years. Team RWB is always there for you when you need it. And it's just a great organization.
I'm struggling here a little bit, Michael. Do you go by Michael? I'm sorry. I said it's Sully or Mike.
Yeah. Mom calls me Michael. My wife calls me Michael. My friends call me Mike. People call me Sully. So you say, hey, I'll probably answer.
That's what I tell my students all the time. I'm struggling here a little bit, only to believe your story. I'm throwing you under the bus. You smile way too much.
Well, I've been blessed. I mean, I really have. I mean, I try to be a pretty positive person,
No ops guys smile. I've never seen an ops guy smile. So this is.
Well, Green Berets do it all the time. That's because we want you to believe everything we have to say, so you'll trust us when we have something dangerous for you to do.
I love it. I'm excited to hear more about the story. We have a good relationship with the chapter organizer here in Minnesota, Dan Zerbiz, and we're trying to do some stuff with him and get some stuff rocking and rolling, getting people moving. That's the mission, moving.
Absolutely.
And building relationships. I love that piece. And we're going to hear a lot more coming up here in a second. We're going to get to a break with a little bit of tunage, some music from our catalog, and then we'll come back with the news from Frank the Myth. Miss Eichmann, what do you got for music tonight?
I would like to start out with, dude, didn't you write this down?
I did write it down. Did
Start
you want
to
me to?
No, I want to say. We're going to start out with a song by, and I'm stalling. Oh, gosh, you brought it to the top.
Ryan Daniel.
Thank you. Here's the problem. It's moved. It's not where I found it. All right. Ryan Daniel, and you got to say it. I can't find it.
Okay. We are going to start with Ryan Daniel and Back Roads and Bonfires.
There we go. Thank you.
Enjoy.
What you city boys know about this one? Every Friday night when we do our thing, it sure as hell ain't on the Broadway scene. We go into the country with the sun sets low, find a little peace and we take it slow. Now the work is done and it's time to play. play. Picking up my baby in my Chevrolet. We head to a place city boys can't go. Turn it up the 5 and let the black smoke roll. I'm talking about the back roads that nobody knows. Getting lost with you in the radio. Pretty pink toes in the shotgun seat. Baby, we ain't got no other place to be except the bonfire that burns all night. I got a radical to fill with everything you like. The stars in the sky and you by my side. I'm talking about back roads and bonfires. Stop the cooler, filling up with gas. Country music playing, you can feel the flow. Rockin' lights and whips with the neon glow. Talking about the back roads that nobody knows. Getting lost with you in the radio. Pretty green toes in the shotgun seat. Baby, we ain't got no other place to be except the bonfire that burns all night. Got a radical to fill with everything you like. Stars in the sky and you by my side. I'm talking about back roads and bonfires. I'm talking about the back roads and bonfires. Side by side, some big mud tires. Bikini top women and some homemade shine. I'm talking about the backwoods where it's all good. Raise a little hell in your neighborhood. Pretty pink toes in the shotgun seat. Baby, we ain't got no other place to be except the bonfire that burns all night. Got a rowdy cooler filled with everything you like. The stars in the sky, you by my side. I'm talking about back roads and bonfires. And bonfires.
That is Ryan Daniel with Back Roads and Bonfire. Before we get into Frank and doing the news, I want to thank the amazing Magnus Foundation, Veterans Foundation. We got to put a booth up in the space of their event yesterday. Saw hundreds of amazing veteran supporting people. The Magnus Foundation does a great job at supporting veterans, has an in-house all health and family of veteran program that not a dime comes out of your pocket in Dayton, Minnesota. They do such an amazing job there. The man is blessed. He's blessed. If you haven't been to Magnus Foundation, and a lot of us don't have a reason to be there, I get it. And you go check out the property that they have their facilities on. It's a blessed conversation. He was a special forces doctor, is now working in the medical field now. And his uncle was the curator for Sesame Street Live and got to an age where he didn't need this palatial property with a lake on it and gifted this to Mr. Sean Alderman. And they have done and taken immaculate care of this facility and property. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit jelly, but it's okay. I'm still going to celebrate the amazing work they do. The best part of yesterday, they did have music and all that. We're talking through the conversation. We know you can hear Mr. Daniel on WP3 Radio and any musician that we've had on our show, 200 plus musicians. The greatest thrill of my day yesterday is we talked to their coordinator working on the music side of things when we got there, and they piped WP3 Radio when the bands weren't on stage. So we got to hear across the country all kinds of veteran and first responder musicians that not just local to Minnesota, but across the country musicians. You can do that as well you can go in and do just a browser search of WeP3 Radio, and you can hear the purest, the truest, only radio station that plays only veterans and first responders. WeP3 Radio. We love it. We love it. We love the artists that come and do this show. Frank, you ready for the news, brother?
Yeah, sure. I figured this week, being the first show after 9/11, we talk a little bit about 9/11 today. It's getting to the point where all the children involved from families that were affected by 9/11, they're all in or out of college now. And one of the things that I look at is I hope we don't lose the focus on what happened, because all too often you can have a disaster happen, and after years and the survivors are gone and everything else, the focus changes, and it becomes a holiday, or it becomes something else other than what it's supposed to be. And I hope that never happens on 9/11. And I know that there's a lot of people that think I'm kind of lost my mind when I talk about 9/11, but my office, when I got to the Pentagon, was 100 feet from where the plane hit. They had redone the Pentagon by the time I got there. But the one thing they didn't do was change the carpets. And they tried to clean them. They tried to get them as best as they could, but you could still see things. And walking through the hallways at night, there was a very eerie feeling walking through those halls. And a lot of people don't realize that in the Pentagon, at least, the service branch that took the most casualties was the Navy. Even though the plane came in through the Army G1, not the G1, but the ASAMRA and the G1. When the plane came through, there was way too many people that died from the plane and from inside. But when you look at what happened, had that plane come in from any other direction, the casualties would have been multiples of what we had, because it just so happened that they were doing repairs in that particular wing the day the plane hit. So a lot of people that would have been there weren't there. And, it's sometimes it's just being somewhere else is something that you don't plan on, but it's kind of God's way of guiding us to do other things afterwards. And the other thing that people look at when I talk about 9/11 is, the people that we fought against for 20 years ended up being the longest military action that we've had in our history. They weren't stupid people. And they picked 9/11. And what they picked it for was not what happened. Because picking 9/11, every time somebody calls for help, what do they call? 911. But we're stronger than that, and our country will always be stronger than that, I hope. And I one of these days it's on my bucket list to go to all three of the sites and join in the memorializing what happened, and then to never forget. And I'm sorry, I get a little bit tongue-tied when I talk about this, because it was just the most horrific thing that happened while I was in the service. And I saw plenty of death and destruction, but not on my homeland. And it just takes a different perspective. So thanks for letting me talk about it. And God bless all those folks who gave their lives. And God bless all the families that are finding a way to continue.
Thank you for sharing, Frank. I as well feel that that was a date that changed my life, changed my world. I was in service at the same time, but I was also teaching at the same time. And I brought a daughter in the world. She was a little less than a month old, a little more than a month old, and a son who was a little more than a year and a month old. And I remember making the long drive, 86 miles from where I was teaching to where I was living at the time. And I walked in the front door and I'm like, what on earth have we brought our children into? And I didn't get the chance to be on ground like you did, Frank. I think your feelings are more than appropriate. And I thank you for sharing those with us. And I do think there's a time and place where we need to, I know our battle cry in this space is let's grow. And the version of us tomorrow should be better than the version of us today. And there's always this, I don't want to overshadow 9/11. I don't want to but this year sat differently for me as well. It was a miserable start of my day. There's other things. There's things are getting swept under the carpet. Yes, there's the big thing that we all dealt with Mr. Kurt, but then that we still are having school shootings. We're still having discord everywhere. And again, bottom line is there a time and place where people will figure out how to use the words? I think people have forgotten how to use their words. With all the social media we have and all the stuff that we have, A, people haven't been trained to do social media. B, what is appropriate and not appropriate for consumption. And C, the stuff behind your words. I'm sorry, folks, if this hurts your feelings, but there should be some education behind those words. You can't. One of the things that I struggle with regularly is listening to people who just parrot what other people are saying. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's real. And I'm also a little frustrated, sad, and tired of having to fact check absolutely everything that comes across any channel whatsoever. But if you are not taking the time to do that, expect and own the ignorance, because that's what it is. Sorry if that's hurtful and sorry if that's malice, but you have to train your brain with education. You have to take in truth, period. Mr. Sullivan, we heard about your service. Go ahead, Andrea.
Nope, I was just gonna because I'm boiling over here. Because as a teacher, I bring up 9/11 every year, and we talk about it. We ask questions. I see what they're too young anymore. They only know what they've been told. Or I had one girl in my first hour who watches documentaries, but even at that, what documentaries is she watching, right? But she was very knowledgeable and wanted to share. But as I was thinking about, how do they learn what they know? And I teach 8th graders, and it burns me up inside that every single one of them has this in their hands. The whole world, every media outlet, every video, every piece of information and misinformation is thrown at a 14-year-old mind or younger. I don't know how young they are when they get the whole internet connected to their phones. And it frightens me hugely because, I remember when the big debate was, are video games desensitizing us? Crap, we're watching this stuff in real life on videos. Is that desensitizing our young teenagers? Anyway, so sorry, that's my piece on it. It's going to take a huge movement to make it better. And some of it was probably going in the right direction. And hopefully this is a kickstart for people to pay attention to what their kids are watching and what they're letting in their door. So anyway, there's my piece. Sorry.
Well, we've heard Mr. Sullivan, share your thoughts and ideas if you're open to doing that.
Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think, I don't know. The way I feel is that this week has been definitely a week of reflection for me personally. I mean, like everybody on the show, 9/11 specifically was a turning point in my life. I was a young captain. I just finished the Special Forces qualification course. I was going to language school, picking up my books, and all of a sudden we're seeing, airplanes being turned into weapons, and as a young special operator that was thought to think unconventionally, I was like, part of me is like, this is ingenious. And the other part of me is like, and we need to do something immediately so this never happens again. And that's how I spent the rest of my career in the U.S. Army. 30 years, 20 of it in special operations, and 6 deployments to Afghanistan, a year in Lebanon, multiple trips to the African continent, Southeast Asia, all geared towards the global war on terrorism. So near and dear to my heart in terms of like that day defining like who I am for the last, at least 20 years. But and really like my family story as well, right? I mean, I have twins, a daughter and a son who are captains in the U.S. Army, who both decided to attend the United States Military Academy at West Point, and they were motivated by the idea that they were going to serve like their father served, based on, growing up in that environment. But it was an environment, in our house that you were defending something greater than yourself, right? And that's what gets back to like how this week started, and this idea that this nation, unlike others, works a little bit differently, and we're open to the idea that we all can have different ideas, differencing in opinions, but we have a responsibility as two educators on the call that you need to educate yourself. To defend those ideas, understand where your information is coming from, and then be willing to have those conversations with other Americans in a civil environment. And unfortunately, something absolutely the opposite happened. And I think we can't let that happen again. No matter what somebody is saying, this country exists for a greater purpose, and it's not to turn to violence. So it's horrific. It's a tragedy that, a lot of us are trying to deal with, but in terms of reflection and moving forward, I'm motivated by the idea, not that, I'm in an organization that believes community, people getting together. Actually, if you walk for 40 minutes, you could probably have some great conversations, and they might be of, two completely different opinions. But at the end of it, you're both going to feel a little bit better because you did it together. That's the kind of thing that we need to do going forward, I think.
That was the conversation we were having pre-show. And one of the things that, as a beacon power of the People's Patriot Project, we want the opportunity to continue the mission. Those men and women who are looking for something and a place to apply their skill set, their mind, their stuff. And then also for those who never had the chance to serve, you still can serve your community and country through acts of volunteering. And there might even be some jobs out there to do it, to be honest with you. You could get involved as a first responder at any point in your life, whether it's fire, police, EMS, corrections, or dispatch. But that was a little nuance that Mr. Sullivan had brought up too, in regards to the small tasks, which aren't small by any sense, that people can do to help encourage others or be involved. Share a little bit more about that, Mike.
Well, yeah, I think, and it ties directly to what we do at Team RWB, but just in general, I think too many people, when they think about service or volunteering their time, obviously there's some amazing things you can do. You could go work at a soup kitchen. You could go work for Habitat for Humanity and help build a home. You could work for, one of those amazing organizations you had at the lead to help, homeless veterans or the folks, and you see that return on investment. But, this idea that, everybody's time is precious, and this idea that just getting out and becoming a part of your community again, maybe putting the phone down, stepping away from the television or the computer screen, and getting out with other people in real life and spending some time together, like that is a service project in and of itself. The time you spend, even if it's like, well, I was going to go for a run anyway, Sully. Yeah, but if you go for a run with me, I'm going to get more out of it, and so are you, because we're going together. That is a service. That is a service that you can provide each and every person that lives up and down your block. You know, for us, we hope you join RWB and, you know, help veterans to connect to that community that they now belong to post-service. But I really think people need to look at it that way. You know, I don't disregard the value of people's time. And I think if we all realize that there is a cheat code to life and we could use that to get out and be more communal in nature, we would live in a much better place.
Isn't that kind of what there is back in the day? I'm not going to do a commercial for anybody, but it's for Chevrolet. Back in the day, the 70s, they had a jingle that talked about American Pie, baseball, and Chevrolet. And I remember those moments where you lived in the community. You didn't have to worry about what the young bucks were doing and what the kids were doing. In fact, you could hop on a bike at dawn and ride your bike home at dawn, and no one was really worried about where you were at, because I know some lived by the rule, be home by the time the street light was on. But just the community was completely different. The community of September 12th. Well, why do we have to have a crazy event bring us back together? Why can't we figure out the secret sauce, as Sully likes to talk about? That's the simple stuff. I enjoy hanging with people and having a nice cold beverage in my hand. It's got to be a good one. And listening to great music. Yesterday was sitting on the grass. I got to take my shoes off yesterday and walk in the grass all day long and not worry about anything. And I got to talk to people about helping people. Now, yes, that's my jam. I enjoy it. I love it. But just the collaboration and the constant conversation, and none of it was about me. It was about we. What can we do? How can we grow? How can we help? How can we be bigger, better, and badder? Gosh. And when we sit down and talk about it, it seems so simple, but yet we decide to pile on the layer after layer after layer of crap until we don't want to fix it because it's too hard to work through it. It hurts to work through it. I don't enjoy the stink. I don't enjoy the effort. But if we took care of it from the very beginning, you know, you take care of the small things, the big things aren't an issue. That's what it works.
No, I'd agree. I don't mean to make it a cliche, but I think you can kind of turn it around. I mean, I think if you really want to focus on me, you would realize the most you're ever going to get out of anything is the we, right? Like we think our cell phone and the things that are going to make us immediately happy that we're just constantly bombarded with right now. And there's just so many things. I mean, you talk about, you know, and the Gen Xers in the room talk about our childhood all the time, about growing up on our BMX bikes until the lights came on. But you know, we didn't have this competing like system, quite frankly, and it could be a positive things in our lives if you use it the right way, but it could be absolutely evil, and it can take you away from that idea that being with other people is what the me needs, right? Like we weren't built to be lonely, alone people sitting on a couch staring at a screen in a dark room, right? We were meant to be outside, enjoying the outside, you know, and it doesn't have to be an ultra marathon or a run like some of the people think that's what Team RWB does. Just walking together, just talking together, you know, doing something like that is just as valuable.
I have a plan. I know you're busy being the ambassador, spokesperson, all that, and so I know you're not the worker bee. I know how this works. But I have a plan. We want to collaborate. We want to work together. I don't want to put something on your plate. That's my pet peeve right there. Besides sitting in front of the Walmart door, having a conversation with someone blocking the door, number one pet peeve. Number two pet peeve, someone putting it on our plate to fix, make, or do while people walk away. So I don't want to do that. We're gonna talk. I want to pull Dan Zerbas into it for Minnesota because I think he'll be a good ambassador to it. But I think we have an action plan that we can get a lot of people involved and be involved for a cause that makes a lot of people feel good. And it's simple. Folks, you'll have to walk. You'll have to walk. That's it. Well, and we're going to do some amazing things. Because we've reformatted our show a little bit, forgot a vital part of our show, and that is our call to action. And so as I do this narrative every week, I tell my board, we are a working board. We are not a sit back and wait for things to come to us. If you're not working on something, you're not doing anything. And that's weird when you put it that way, right? So folks, ladies and gentlemen, those listening and watching, because I apparently am going to throw another, what do you call that? Clap. 1, 2, 3. Watching. Grab your phone. And this is our Check Your Six moment. And Check Your Six is including you in a conversation because you've been out doing your stuff and maybe there's some fatigue. Maybe there is some battle damage. Maybe there is something that you need to be taking care of for yourself, for you to be whole and battle ready. Now, I don't want to send this misnomer out there. We are on a mission. We are going to go get those that need the help. We leave no man or woman behind. That's the idea. But if your brain isn't in that space to do that, it's not time for you to do that. So check yourself. Battle check, head to toe. What do you need? And reach out. Maybe this is something you can do on your own. If you can do it on your own, do it. If it's something that you are struggling to get through to the next step, reach out to a trusted adult or organization. If you need a little bit of anonymity, reach out to the People's Patriot Project. Reach out to other organizations. I'm willing to bet if you reached out to a representative for RWB, they would put you in the right direction. And I'm hoping one of the directions would be in the future, hey, we know the People's Patriot Project. We're going to go on a walk this weekend and many other things, but we know the People's Patriot Project has the resources and has the network to accommodate what this question, ask, or need is. Okay, you've done your first part of your check six. Now take your device, go to a text line, and type in just checking on you. Copy, paste it into 6. I can't only do it. 6 conversations in your contact list and send them. Sorry, not sorry. I challenge you to do a hard conversation, someone that you ended up sideways with, maybe because a silly joke that went the wrong way, maybe because all of us get busy and we haven't reached out like we used to or should. Just checking on you and have those conversations. We would love it if you would commit to doing that once a day. I don't know about you folks, but I know I could fill a year's worth of time with the contacts in my contact list, and I do it regularly. I'm not going to be bold enough to say I do it every day, but I really do it every Sunday. So that's your check your six. Make sure you're working on it. Miss Eichmann, you want to roll with another song?
I do. I do. Thank you for giving me a minute. I would like to really listen to this one. This is a former guest, and it's weird because I just checked Facebook, typed in his name, and everybody had this song as one of their favorites from him. This is Michael Buck, Irish Road.
I wrote this about a road in Iraq that we had to travel down a good bit, and they made it pretty hairy at times for us. So a few years back, I penned this song. It's called "The Irish Road." Spun around in resurrection, laying rest to wayward souls. We never saw our future, only memories to hold of a place much rich and greener. I left my West Virginia home. I gambled all I had away to walk down the Irish road. This place is dry and buried, but they say Jesus walked these streets. Keep a Bible right beside my head each night when I'm asleep. Well, I used to not believe it, but Mama prayed to save my soul, 'cause Lucifer's alive and well, he lives down the Irish road. Prayed St. Bridget, come and save me before the devil takes control. 'Cause once what was a heart of gold is now as black as coal. And I swear to see the faces laid beneath the cobblestones, 'cause every night they come and haunt me from down the Irish road. Set fire to Armageddon, I rained the brass down in the sand. Lord, he cried out for Janie as he reached and took my hand. But now the piper man's a blowing while the angels take him home. 'Cause St. Michael lost another son down the Irish road. Prayed St. Bridget, come and save me before the devil takes control. 'Cause once what was a heart of gold is now as black as coal. And I swear I see the faces laid beneath the cobblestones, 'cause every night they come and haunt me from down the Irish road. Each night they come and haunt me down the Irish road.
That one hits a little different, doesn't it? There's a lot of truth in that one. Thank you, Michael Buck, for the message in Irish Road. I think I'm super sensitive about stuff right now. I think that's my space. I think I get sucked into the emotion of stuff right now. And I'm not typically an emotional kind of guy. That's not my style. It's not where I'm at. But it's where I'm at right now. So I just want to be there we are. What an amazing show we have working tonight. I just realized there might be a small blessing in this. Every week we have a musician come on that we put on WP3 Radio. My thoughts during that song there is we need to probably get more advertising stuff. Make sure we know your contact person, Mike, so that we can get your content directly put on the radio station so that we are running RWB stuff on the radio station as well. Unfortunately, we don't have a musician tonight. I worked diligently to get ahead of the game this week. I spent 10 days last week with 1 bar of phone service and 0 internet in my new residence. And talk about edgy. I did not operate well. Andrea probably filled a lot of sass and lip in the fact that I was like a toddler that didn't get its red Kool-Aid bottle. I couldn't do anything. I was just I had empty hands that I couldn't do anything in my brain. So I put knobs on cabinets and stuff is what I did. That's how I battled through it. So, but your next national champion football team has got a game tonight, and that starts at 7:20. Not that we're trying to get out of this, but Skull, and I hear Seattle won a game tonight. Who are we following, Frank? Who you follow down there?
Follow for what?
For tennis.
Tennis. We play pickleball down here. You don't have to move as much.
It's a pretty violent sport.
You are a guy that moves anyway, so I don't know what you're even complaining. Do you follow football at all, Frank?
College
Football? Who do you follow there?
Army.
Well, okay, my bad. A West Point graduate's going to follow the Army. Do you go to the Army-Navy game every year?
No, I don't. I haven't been to an Army-Navy game probably in 15 or 20 years. And the reason why is things are just so crowded and busy. And I'm not the type of person that likes to be in big crowds and you can't even enjoy the game. I mean, it's just not my type of environment.
It's more of a spectacle, right?
Yeah, I get more out of watching on TV.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
A lot of my classmates go, and of course, all the higher ranking guys, they get the really good seats. So
I suppose, right? Because I mean, if you go to West Point and that you get chances, right? If you went to the game, would there be any bennies? No, because all the bennies be gobbled up by the other guys, right?
Well, my class normally has a tailgate party at the game. Sometimes it's before the game, sometimes it's after a game, sometimes it's before, during, and after.
Fair enough.
But, I don't know. I'm just not one of those folks.
Okay.
I just enjoy the quiet. And
what?
Plus, if they lose, it always sucks.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than losing an Army-Navy game.
Yeah.
When I was there, we lost 3 and tied 1. Thank God we got the tie.
Yeah.
We didn't have overtime back then. We played with real pigskin.
Well, your helmet was real pigskin back in the day, right?
Yeah, what helmet?
Yeah, right. Sully, do you follow a college team?
I do. I mean, I went to a small Division III school called Claremont McKenna College in Southern California. So my buddies and I will get together for our big rivalry in a couple of weeks, which is Pomona, which is right across the street. So it's we'll watch the 5th Street, I think they call it now, rivalry. But the obviously, because my kids went to West Point, we now care about the Army Navy game. I don't. I'm not a West Pointer, but it's a fun game. It's always exciting. They were lucky; they had 3 wins while they were at West Point and 1 loss. So we're excited for the game this year. RWB might be highlighted by USA this year at the game, so we're excited about that.
Cool.
Are you going?
We'll see. But it's always been a fun thing to be a part of now that the kids are old grads. But my son ran track, so we were all about that. And then my daughter, I don't know if you know, my daughter was a big rugby player at West Point, and she plays for the USA national team now. She won a bronze at the Olympics last year. So
Awesome.
yeah, so we like a sport where you don't wear a helmet. Like so rugby is our sport in this household.
There's no conflict with the rugby player in the house, right?
No,
just her way. That's it. That's I
play.
I don't know your daughter, but I've seen the legs on those rugby players, and holy cow!
Yeah, she's quite the athlete.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, now I have something to look out for too.
Yeah. Look for Sammy Sullivan. Yep. The Army has a program called the World Class Athlete Program. If you're an Olympic athlete, you get to serve full time. So she's a captain in the Army, but her job is to play for Team USA Sevens rugby. So.
Oh, cool.
Celebrate that.
Yeah. It's a tough sport. You play on the same size field as the 15s team. It's nonstop. She's a beast.
So I got the privilege in 1994 to go to Russia to play football over in Russia and the former Soviet. Greatest experience of my life. I mean, we lived third world type environment. It was nice to be knocked down a peg. They treated us like royalty when we were there. But they have a version of rugby over there that is like their national staple. And they would teach us, and they would teach us their sport, and we taught them our sport. Well, they don't have pads. And their athletes in their sports they took their Russian Olympic athletes, wrestlers, such, and they're playing on the scene. We're playing with a different nature of a human being. Got the amazing opportunity to stay in the Olympic Stadium or the Olympic, their Olympic headquarters in Minsk, Belarus, and was just absolutely in awe the whole time. But we could beat the snot out of them because we knew technique and they didn't know. But when the pads came off, that's a different thing. And I didn't know you put 3/4 inch stainless steel spikes on the bottom of shoes. They do. And most of the time, that's what's coming at you first is their feet, which I've never known that technique either. But there's a reason why, and you'll see many of them wearing these weird helmets. It's because they don't have ears, because their ears have been knocked off because of these cleats. I'm not lying, folks. This is real stuff. There is not a pretty rugby player in Russia anywhere. Not pretty. I hope your daughter's face.
My daughter's gorgeous.
What is next for RWB?
Well, I mentioned it earlier. Next month is our 15th anniversary, so a bunch of us will be at the Twin Cities Marathon weekend, running different races, having a pasta dinner because we don't do galas, we do pasta dinners. We'll celebrate that. It'll be the official handoff between Mike Rowan and myself. He'll step down as the executive director. I'll step in, and he'll move to the board. Veterans Day is always big for us. We do a workout of the day, kind of a functional fitness event, and it's going to be a big one this year to celebrate America's 250 kickoff on this Veterans Day, the Army's 250th birthday, still our birthday year. So we're going to be in multiple different locations across the nation, ideally at all 3 service academies, maybe a big location in Washington, D.C. that we're trying to nail down. So that's going to be an exciting few days right around Veterans Day for us. And then I just mentioned, we're all going to be watching the Army-Navy game and make that a part of us, what we do to round out the year. But then we get right back in it. January is the time to pick your big fitness goal for the year. Start thinking about what you're going to do to stay healthy and fit in 2026. So it never stops. Your health and wellness journey always continues, and RWB will be there for you.
I hear you're going to be in Minnesota then. That's Is
Just
your time going to be
short weeks? So yeah, we'll be there. It's the weekend of the 5th, 4th, 5th, I think. Yeah.
My kids, I actually just babysat today, 4 boys, while their mom and my son are going to. My son did his first marathon last year at Twin Cities Marathon, and Chelsea's done marathons before, and so they'll be running. I'll be up there. That'll be cool.
Nice. Well, maybe we'll see. I know I'll get to meet Dan finally in person. He'll be a part of the event, but we're gonna get the folks together because 15 years ago, Mike Irwin and a group of his friends put on this T-shirt for the first time. It was a white one, not a red one, and they ran the marathon with an American flag. We'll do it again, Mike and I together, running with Old Glory, and at the end, I think he'll hand it to me as the kind of the official handoff of the baton. But it's going to be a great weekend for us to celebrate our 15th year of our kind of legacy and what we're going to do next.
What would it take to get on like the planning schedule of that? So maybe we might not take up your time, but be in your space to do our streaming and get your stuff out there.
Yeah, we can link up afterwards and talk about it. We got a lot going on that weekend, but I'm sure we can figure it out, right?
We always look at these things. You're like the bride that day, and everyone's going to want your attention, and so we just kind of bobble around and say, and we'll get the good stuff in later. But that's
maybe you can mic us up during the marathon and just hear how miserable.
Yeah. See if he's smiling during the marathon. That's what we'll.
Well, we can keep track as well, so we'll know where he is.
Right.
Anyone.
Maybe I can just sit there and run next to him the whole time. In a golf cart.
We'll just take some quick videos and we'll connect them all together because I don't think we'll be keeping up, but we'll run ahead, get more video, and then drive ahead and get more video.
Set checkpoints to get Bloody Marys and then like step out and say, there he is. Still smiling.
Take a bring all that pasta from the night before.
Exactly.
Have you ever had to use the facilities in one of these major events while you're in the midst of the event?
Absolutely.
I thought
you just let her rip?
You just go.
Yeah, I thought so.
But these two are runners over here. I run to the bathroom. I'm kidding.
What is your attire for the day? Is it silkies? You like military silkies and.
I got some running, not silkies. I'm not willing to rock the silkies anymore. But a pair of running shirts and of course a red Team RWB T-shirt will be the jersey, and we'll
I suppose you got to like completely brand RWB and represent. Absolutely. I get that.
Yeah.
Gosh, run out there and throw some WP3 green on you and make you into a beacon. We'll figure that out.
Look like a Christmas tree.
We'll paint bomb them on the way through. Gotcha. We're the beacon now. Oh, so exciting. All right. Here's the plan. Eichmann, give us our last song, and then we're going to come back for final thoughts.
I thought you were going to make me do final thoughts right now. That scared me. I wasn't ready. I'm still thinking about not running. Just kidding. I actually do like to run. No, I like to run. I just not the distances. That's just That's hard on me. That's hard on my knees. Okay, so for the last song, I wanted to bring in. So I had to dig back in my memory of some of these songs, and I mean, there's always some that stay at the top, and then I thought, gosh, I haven't heard. So this is, oh my gosh, Michael Allen
Yes.
with "Slow Down." Please
Michael,
listen to this message.
slow down. Boom. Oh, you have
Oh,
it.
you're fighting.
I was living such a lonely life, only smiling 'cause I could not cry. Started thinking I should take my life. I was wrong all along. Well, I need to slow down. Well, I need to slow down. If I can slow down, I'll be alright. Pack my bags and I am out that door. One-way ticket to an old man's war. Looked up to the sky, confessed my sins, then wrote a letter to my next of kin. The flight was long and now my feelings are numb, and that is when I became a time bomb. I need to slow down. Well, I need to slow down. If I can slow down, I'll be alright. I'll be When we were young, it was so easy to fight. It did not matter if we knew wrong from right. 'Cause when we feel like we've got nothing to lose, and death comes easy to choose. I live this moment every day in my head, and in that moment I wish I was dead. I need to slow down. Well, I need to slow down. If I can slow down, I'll be
That is Michael Allen. Slow down. What do you listen to when you're running?
Mix of different things. Actually, I prefer to have someone to talk to.
Sure.
It just flies by if I have someone to run with. But I don't know. I have a pretty eclectic playlist for everything from like early 90s rap music like the Beastie Boys and Run DMC to some 80s and 90s heavy metal, rock, who knows, country.
Yeah.
I'll listen to anything.
You got any Taylor Swift
Sometimes I'm
on
listening
there?
to books on tape. Sometimes I'm listening to some motivational kind of like spiritual stuff. So who knows?
You got any Taylor Swift on there?
No Taylor Swift.
Fair enough. Do you have someone that is your go-to to be your run side?
No, I mean, just actually no one these days. I mean, I just moved down here to South Carolina and I'm kind of building the team. We have a great running club I'm a part of, so it's fun to run with some people down here. Always love running with Mike Irwin, my founder and friend and Team RWB. And I wish I could get some of my old Green Beret buddies back together. When we were about 10 years ago, there was a group of us used to do a bunch of crazy runs together. And it was amazing how far we would go and how it just would fly by because we would just talk and hang out. It was just the best. So I'm trying to convince some of those old guys to get back out on the road with me.
Yeah, I don't have that person that can keep up with me either. So I just what amazing conversations. Thank you for being here tonight, Mr. Sullivan. Frank, we're growing, we're getting better, we're getting better, we're getting gooder. It's awesome. Thank you, Andrea, for all the work you do behind the scenes and on the scene. And this is our time where we get to be transparent, open, share. The more people we have on here, the more conversation we end up having. And usually there's some kind of cohesive bond of growth that happens. I don't even know if that's a good vernacular structure sentence there, whatever. But something happens, a spark. And so we like to share and know about those sparks and know what that growth looks like. Frank, you ready to start tonight?
Sure. Okay. Final thoughts. I have no possible way of understanding how a disagreement warrants a death penalty. And we need to find a way to figure out in this country how we can get back to disagreeing without having physical issues come between us. It's okay to disagree. If everybody agreed with you all the time, you would never learn and grow. Growth is made by looking at different things and understanding that you don't know everything and that sometimes someone else may have a different view than you, but when you look at it, it may make sense. And God bless all those people who are willing to still stand up and disagree with people without being hurtful. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Frank. Mr. Sullivan.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, again, it's just the key that I'm finding to life is that, every day you can get better. I mean, it may be a little bit harder at times. You may have different challenges, but be willing to look at the next day as an opportunity for growth and a better day ahead. But don't go it alone. Like, you need to find your community. Like, again, I think we've had an opportunity this last week to reflect on the power of when this nation comes together. And we've seen the absolute worst when it starts to fall apart. So don't isolate yourself. Don't get into an echo chamber where you're listening to this thing and not that person to your left and right. get out in person, find a group of people. We'd love to have you at Team RWB, but just don't forget that community is what makes this thing happen for us all, no matter where you're at, what you're doing. Have those discussions, be willing to go together, and each and every day will be better.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Miss Eichmann.
Yeah, I was gathering all the thoughts and all the words, and I will just be echoing the need for community and being surrounded by that community, being bonded to those that will support you, finding those. Clearly, that RWB team is one of those communities. What I'm impressed with, just from the few people who are with RWB, is, and I didn't serve, so they're almost immediate and complete connection. They pull people in and keep them there, is what I've seen happen, and that's what you need. It's appreciated for me to see. So I can't imagine how it's appreciated by those who come into that community. So thank you for sharing all of that tonight, Sully. That's important. And Frank, thanks for your words of wisdom.
I don't want to be a Nostradamus and predict and say this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But I do have a general concern. And my concern is the events of recent affected a lot of people, but was meant to affect one person. And I don't think the reaction that they were expecting is what they got. And it is what it is. Thank God. Thank God. My concern is, before people decide to make a real life effective change of thought, pattern, mind, body, we are going to have to experience another 9/11. I don't want that. Folks, I don't want that. I don't want that experience. Am I going to live in fear that it's going to happen? That's not my style. It's not what I'm going to do. I feel we can figure out this without a tragedy. I really do. But we, not me, we have to figure out how to do it together. And I'm not talking to the 4 people on the screen right now. I'm talking to the 1,700 to 7,000 people that are going to hear this podcast in the next 3 weeks. And my hopes are, and again, not for my sake, I don't want to be a face for WP3. We never wanted to do that. Our face is the men and women who serve our country. The 10% that allow the rest of us to lay our big fat heads on the pillows of freedom daily. Those are the faces I want in front of this. I don't want my voice. I want our voice to be the voice that makes the change. I don't need you to parrot my thoughts. I want you to parrot your thoughts. I want you to stand up. We have for so long sat, and then not literally and figurative. I mean, we've sat back and we've watched for way too long. Yes, we have people that are elected into officiating spots. Yes, we have people in the military and in the first responder that are in command. Yes, we have corporate leaders that are getting paid a lot of money to make decisions. We all have a mind. We all have a voice. And one of my favorites analogies is all of us are but a drop, but all of us together are an ocean. And we've watched, I'm swinging this kind of the negative way here. We've seen what kind of effects all of the drops together in the ocean can do. And I think most cases it's negative, talking ocean, but I think this wave could be positive. Because our wave isn't meant to destroy. Our wave is meant to build and grow. I think we need to be better, and I think we need to do better. And if the version of you tomorrow is better than your version of you today, those are the steps we need to take. Come check us out tomorrow at 4:30. Looks like Andrew's got a thought.
I do. Well, I just want to share quickly. First of all, just a reminder that it is Focus on Suicide Prevention Month. Critical for the military and first responder community, keeping in mind mental health. And then next week and on Sunday, we have Rob with us. He goes by Lone Rider. He is a civilian who, see that coin on our promo there. He's going to tell us how many and why he shares those with first responders and veterans that he comes across. His heart is as big as the ocean. I love this guy. I met him years ago. And then Zach Copperhead Jones will be sharing music with us next weekend. We're very much looking forward to them. And I just want to say, Mr. Bearden, thank you. Skol. The game has begun. There's no score.
And it's 44-0 already. Just
oh my gosh, Vikings are winning. Yay! Yeah. Don't jinx us.
Come check us out tomorrow, 4:30 for the WP3 Weekly Debrief. That's where we sit around with no pants and tell you what's going on. That's not true.
I'll be coaching volleyball, but I won't be here. Yeah.
Debrief. We like to debrief. But this show tonight is about Mr. Sullivan and our team RWB. If you'd like to be a guest, reach out to us. If you know someone that would be a great guest, reach out to us. We're going to build it. We're going to grow it. We're going to come better. We're going to do better, and we're going to do all the things. Make sure you check your 6, and we'll see you when the smoke clears. Patriot Pride.